Hey, what's going on, everyone? In this video, Daniel and I are going to go through the top three niches that you should be going into in 2025. So let's get right into it. Welcome back to the channel, Daniel.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
No problem at all, man. It's good to have you back. So, look, I wanted to obviously jump on with you because a lot of people are struggling right now. And, obviously, as we film this, the year's coming to an end. It's, middle of December. So, right now is the perfect time to not just start your agency, but really just plan for the new year. A lot of people are going on holidays, so you've kind of got a 3 to 4 week grace period right now to get the foundation set up, in my opinion. And I think that's a perfect time to obviously film this video and go through some of our top niches that we see, people can make a lot of money in going into 2025. For me, yeah, the trades niche would be number one. And that, is obviously HVAC, which is what we're in. I'm talking about pool builders, pool cleaning companies, patios. I think, patios, like we're getting our place renovated now. And, for the patio and everything, dude, it's like 50, 60 G's. Right. So a couple of those jobs a month, is all these guys need. That would be my top pick going into 2025. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I think, to be honest, a top niche for every individual is going to be different. I think that you should pick something that you at least know a little bit about or maybe are passionate about. And so, one that I would pick for both of us, I think, which is quite relevant, is dog grooming. So we both
Yep.
have poodle cross dogs. My wife and I bought one back in 2020 during lockdown. There are, a lot more people now that have flexible working arrangements. So, they'll have a little bit of extra time to be able to take care of a pet and give it the love that it needs and deserves. And so a lot of people are now picking poodle cross dogs. I mean, the reason why we picked one is because, there's obviously a lot less hair. I mean, the chance of them
Mm-hmm.
shedding hair is a lot lower. But what that means is that you need to get them groomed every 6 to 8 weeks. It's like a sheep. They'll keep growing their
Yep.
hair otherwise. And it's really hard to get in. Like, we basically have an appointment locked in every couple of months with our dog
Yep.
at our groomer. And if we miss that appointment for whatever reason, he ends up then missing a cut. And so he's really long and shaggy, and it's kind of really tough for our dog and, us as well, because they get a lot dirtier with the longer hair. And so that recurring revenue, like whilst you mentioned trades, which are generally a lot higher, let's say for a pool builder or a patio builder, it's a lot
Yep.
higher return per customer. Obviously, there's a lot of material and things
Of
involved, and
course.
there's a lot of cost. And that recurring revenue, like, being able to get that every 6 to 8 weeks, that ends up being, like a few grand a year per dog.
Yep.
And there's a lot of opportunity to upsell. And I already know, just from my experience going to the groomers that we've been to, some of the issues that they face, and being able to solve those issues for them because I understand them would be a really easy in. So being
Mm.
able to literally walk into to a salon, having ready maybe a couple of talking points and things that I can mention that we can help with them with would really help. So I think the dog grooming industry is growing, and there's no signs of it slowing down. So that would be
Yeah.
one of my top picks for next year.
Man, that's awesome, man. I don't see anyone actually in that space. So I think there's a lot of value there, especially with, the systems and everything that, for example, we use, right? Like, and a lot of these guys are using with Go High Level, with appointment setting and the booking calendar and all the reminders and follow-ups. I think, it would plug in really nicely for that niche.
Yeah. So I mean,
Man.
I've got another one. I might continue on there with my
Yeah.
second one. And this is actually a niche that I've worked in before, and I think it is a really good niche for beginners because there are a lot of leads you can generate for yourself, and a lot of leads that you can generate for your clients. And that's home cleaning, right? So residential cleans,
Yeah.
end of lease cleans, regular house cleans. Much like dog grooming, it's not a huge cost to get set up for an individual to go into that business. As long as you have the tools required, you can go in and start almost immediately.
Mm.
And a lot of people are needing that service. So, there's constantly people moving out of houses. It's part of almost every single rental agreement that when you leave, that the house has to have a bond clean to clean inside of the oven, inside of cupboards, windows, doors, walls, and all that kind of thing. So, as I said, I have worked in that niche, and an end of lease clean can be worth thousands. And some of the people that I was working with would then contract that work out. So what
Yeah.
their main job would be is calling leads, getting jobs booked in, and then kind of managing staff to make sure that they're heading out to the jobs necessary. So, leads were costing me around $4 for me to actually generate leads for myself, and it was around about the same cost or even less to generate leads for those businesses. So that's a huge one in
Insane.
2025, especially if you're just starting out. Of course, that like all niches, they have their issues, but that's a really, really good one because it's super easy to get started. Within a matter of weeks, you could have 3, 4 clients of your own going.
Man, I love that. That's fantastic. And I don't see people doing it. I've dabbled in it for maybe a month or so, and I totally agree. Like leads cost less than $5. It's just shooting fish in a barrel, man. It's super, super easy. My next one would probably be real estate, which, as a lot of you guys know on the channel, I've done a lot of marketing before, especially in COVID. It was super, super easy to get leads for both myself and clients. And the reason is, like, obviously, we're due for an interest rate drop anytime now in the new year. Interest rates haven't dropped for a long, long time. And I think, people are always just a little bit hesitant right now with the current market and cost of living and stuff, right? So, a lot of agents are now realizing, 4 or 5 years later, that, hey, I need to get on Facebook and social is important. But when I was kind of selling it in 2020, and none of these guys were even thinking that way. The top producers were, but the average person was not. Now, the top guys are just blowing everyone out of the water because they've been doing it for so long, and the average person is like, "Huh, okay, yeah, I need to get onto this." When I was saying it 4 or 5 years ago, right? And I think that's another great niche. Real estate, it's timeless. It's never going away. These guys are business owners. They know how to sell. So if you can sell to them and close them, then you're never going to have any issues with other niches if you want to go into it because they're sales professionals. One piece of advice there is don't just use the classic sales tactics on them. It won't work. They know what you're doing. Just have a no bullshit conversation, and you'll be able to close them a lot easier rather than trying to, I guess, quote unquote, hard close them. Like you see from these sales trainers online, if you try to use those tactics on real estate agents, they're going to tell you to F off and hang up on you. But yeah, that's another great niche, I think, especially going into 2025. What's your third one, Daniel?
My third niche would be mobile scratch repairs for cars. So,
Interesting.
yeah. I mean, it's something that I came across a few months ago. So I was parking up to get a coffee, and I got in my car, and there was basically a tipper truck, a little tipper truck next to me that was backing out, and scratched my car on the way out, and I had to kind of chase him down. And he was a really nice guy, local guy, lives nearby, and he actually asked if we could settle it without going through insurance, and asked if I could actually get a mobile repairer to come over and fix the scratch because it wasn't too deep or anything like that. And to be honest, I didn't really care that much. I just wanted it to look like it did before he scratched it. And I got a quote from a smash repairer, which was like $1,500, and to do the
What?
exact same thing with a mobile repairer was about $400. And so
Wow.
that was incredible to me that they come, they do it at your home, they do it in a couple of hours. It looks basically the same. I mean, no matter what, when you're getting, a paint job done on a car, if you really look closely, you can tell.
Yeah.
And you really couldn't tell, to be honest. Like to the naked eye, you're never gonna see it. He was a nice guy, so I was like, cool, no worries, let's just do that. It was way cheaper for him, super easy and convenient for me. I didn't have to leave the car in a workshop for a
Yeah.
few days. It was awesome. And that is something that I've now seen a few of these vans on the road. And I think if a lot more people were aware of it, they would probably get little dings and scratches fixed because it's a lot more affordable. Which is funny because my father-in-law, he popped over whilst it was happening, and he was like, wow, this is really cool. Like, I wonder if they could do my car. And then they did his car as well. So I think that's a really good one. I had never even heard of that niche before.
Yeah.
And I think I obviously have never seen someone kind of going after that niche. So I think that would be a really good one.
Man, I love it. I love it. Getting creative today. Fantastic. So my third one is something that I haven't actually seen people do marketing for, and that's naturopaths. So I know you've got a bit of experience in this field, Daniel, but I think there's a massive opportunity, obviously, because of, COVID. A lot of people lost trust in, the government, medical system, and all of that. So I think it's a great, niche to target, because a lot more people are going down that more, I guess, maybe traditional medicine, sort of getting to the root cause rather than treating the symptoms. So that would probably be my third niche going into 2025.
Yeah, I also think that, as with most niches, to be honest, people don't necessarily get into that business because they are thinking of making a lot of money. A lot of the time, they're very passionate about what they do, and that's exactly the case with a naturopath. That they want to learn about natural medicine because they, really do want to try to help people, and generating leads just is not something they had ever thought about before. The systems to use, the ways to organize their data, it just is completely foreign to them. So if you can help them with a lot of, not just generating leads, but helping them to actually convert leads into paying clients, that would be a huge help for them. So look,
Definitely.
hopefully, people have gotten a lot from this because, I also think that it is pretty important, even if you're in a niche that's working. And, for us, obviously we're in HVAC and that's working for us right now.
Yep.
It's always really important, I think, as you grow your agency to start to expand out into other niches as well, because if something changes in one particular industry, that could bring your agency crumbling down pretty quickly, or at least take a big chunk out of your revenue.
Yep.
And so you shouldn't only rely on that one source. You should always be testing and trialing different niches to see if you can
Yeah.
expand out.
And different offers and services, right? Because, like, for example, with us, 50% of our clients are in this one particular state with all these rebates. If those rebates suddenly change and the government decides to scrap it all, or, get rid of it, change it, or whatever it is, a lot of our clients are going to be affected, and then that's going to affect us. And hey, we may lose 50% of our business overnight, and we can't do anything about it. So, you don't want to be at the mercy of that. So you want to spread your risk. And I think you need to diversify and then have other offers and services as well. So guys, that is a wrap for today's video. Hopefully you guys found it valuable. The top 3 niches going into 2025. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.